Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you follow me. This is actually going to be my first video, and in this video, stick with me because there's a lot that we're going to talk about. So number one, we're going to talk about embroidery. And any artists out there know that embroidery can be very calming, satisfying, challenging, all of the above. Also, we are going to talk about inspirational stuff too. So along the way, as we're talking, I'll share with you a little bit of encouragement. I know a lot of you have probably gone through a lot in your life, whether it's just with COVID or in life in general. Life might have been a little bit tough. And I definitely want to make sure that this video encourages you to keep on going. Don't give up on your art. Don't give up on life. There's always another day. The next day might be as good or worse, but eventually it will get better. Everything passes. So, number one, we're going to start with embroidery. I started embroidering about a year ago. I did not know at all what I was doing. Nothing. Thank God for YouTube, right? So, what started me is I was browsing through Walmart and I saw this embroidery kit for cross-stitching. I did not know the difference between cross-stitching and, like freehand embroidery. I did not know how to transfer a pattern. I didn't know anything. So I got the kit. My eyes crossed a little bit and I didn't know what to do, but I liked the quote on it, so I just kind of freehanded it on my own. Now I'm going to show you what my very, very first embroidery project looked like. It's not bad, but it's not Etsy shop worthy per se. So this right here is my first project. It says laundry today, or naked tomorrow. I mean, it's, if you can see, it's really not, and I still have the needle in there. It's not on the hoop anymore. I didn't know what you're supposed to do. Leave the hoop on, take it off. What are you supposed to do? So that was my first project. But I found that it was very calming. I loved it, and I wanted to learn more. My next project, I believe this was my next project. Again, it's not professional standard. I didn't know, what cloths to use, what cloth was used for cross stitch, what cloth was used for freehand embroidery. So this cloth probably should have been more for cross stitch, but this is my next one. It says God's love is in full bloom. This one's better. A little bit better anyway. So you can see, rose and other flower leaves. The flower, a little bit of a spider web. That's where I learned how to do that spider web stitch, if you can see that. And, but again, if you can see, this is, I believe, Ada cloth, generally used for cross stitching. Again, I took the hoop off, and I made my own little hangy thingy. I did not iron it or anything. So this is like my second creation. I learned, so that's the important thing. I learned. Did not give up. I found still, very relaxing. And you'll see, I'm going to show you all my projects so far. With each one, I learned something new. And I got better. Now, this is my next one. It basically says, creating me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me, Psalm 51:10. See, you can see like little hearts. Again, the spider web type of a rose on there. I loved learning that. I learned how to do a little bit of the leaves, but I was not a pro in that. And here is where I kind of became obsessed with French knots. This here, the borders, honestly, I was freehanding this. I was just doing my own thing, trying to make my own patterns or stitches or whatnot. So that was my second project. Again, not too bad, but it got better and better. There are lots more that I'm going to show you. And I'm just trying to find my next one that I did. I believe this is the next one. It has one of my favorite quotes on it. It says, "The devil whispered in my ear, 'You are not strong enough to withstand a storm.' Today I whispered in the devil's ear, 'I am the storm.'" Here, I found a sword online, and I kind of made it my own. I did my own little pattern with that. I learned to leave this on the hoop, and I did this on my own little border. I didn't really learn this from anybody else, but I'm sure there's other people out there who do this. The lightning, the tears, all my own design, basically. Other than the quote's not mine. I'm going to stop a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that quote. Again, the devil whispered in my ear, 'You are not strong enough to withstand the storm.' Today, I whispered in the devil's ear, 'I am the storm.'" So art in general, for me, and I think for a lot of people out there, is therapeutic. Sometimes it's healing, so to me, that's what art is. I also write. I write stories. I found many, many ways to put into art what I've gone through in life. So a little bit about me. I am a single mom. There's a lot of single parents out there, I'm sure, and some of you are really struggling. You're struggling. You may have gotten divorced, or I'm not sure what your situation is. You may have gotten out of an abusive relationship. God only knows what you've gone through. Me, I was married for 7 years, going on 8 years, have 3 beautiful children. And unfortunately, a lot happened. A lot of that marriage was okay. Some of it was a lot of coercive control, a lot of gaslighting. And what I mean by that, put downs, things that really destroy your self-confidence, your self-worth. And so over time, I came to believe I was not beautiful, not smart. I believe that was, quite dumb, lazy, whatever else, that was insinuated that I was. So, a lot of you have gone through this, and the last year of the marriage, there was one instance where it was kind of like a wake-up call. I lived in Sweden for a year. Unfortunately, my ex made me believe that my parents were the reason our marriage was falling apart. So we moved to Sweden from the United States, and we lived there for a year. And talk about major isolation from friends, from family, from anything that I need, from the language. I didn't even know the language. I learned a little bit. I don't remember very much. But, still, it was major isolation. And towards the end, he cheated on me. This was not the first time. And his mistress, if you want to call it, came to our apartment, and it was not the first time that happened. And I had had enough. My heart was already broken as it was, and I told him in Romanian, I am from Romania, I told him in Romanian, please tell her to leave. And I probably used some coarse language because I was fed up. And so at that point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was drunk. He jumped at me with her in the room present and began to strangle me. I mean, literally, I felt my eyes flashing, my life flashing before my eyes, and it felt unreal. A lot of that probably, I mean, I know it happened, but the emotions and the fear behind it is kind of blanked out. I must have screamed, neighbors called the cops, etc. So anyway, after that, you know, in-laws that were living there were threatening to take my kids away to make me look like an unfit parent, that I was crazy or whatnot. And at that point, I had had enough. I was scared that I would lose my kids. And so I called my father, my dad, who, you know, obviously was living in the United States. And I said, Daddy, I want to come home now. I hadn't talked with him for a long time, but no questions asked. My dad bought me and my kids tickets. And amazingly, you know, I think it was totally God, put, I don't know, I guess hardened my ex's heart, because he didn't care that I was leaving. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, so I can't really say 100%, but I'm willing to bet all he wanted was me to get out, so that way, you know, he can be with the current person that he was with. So he didn't really fight me on leaving, which is, looking back, a miracle, because some of you understand that leaving an abusive relationship, I think, now mine hadn't progressed to that physically abusive where it was like, you know, that dangerous. At least, I don't, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what was going through his mind. But it takes on average 7 tries for a person to leave an abusive relationship. And honestly, a lot of you guys may ask, well, why did you stay? And you may ask that of a lot of abuse victims. Why do you stay if he or she is so bad? Why not just leave? Because staying sometimes is safer than leaving. Statistically speaking, I don't know all the numbers, but like I said, it takes on an average of 7 tries for someone to successfully and permanently decide that that relationship is done and they're leaving. But it is the most dangerous time. So luckily, not luckily, but I think it was God's hand, quite honestly. But I did not have him trying to stop me. But my recommendation is, if you are in an abusive relationship, have an exit plan. Check with your local resources. Check with your local, you know, where you get your food stamps or apply for food stamps or child support. They can give you actually a lot of information. Now, they might not actually be the ones to help you, but they can give you information about safe houses for you and your children, if you have children, or for yourself. They can give you referrals perhaps for a job. There needs to be an exit strategy. If you have friends, so you need to have an exit plan to be safely out of that situation. Anyway, so that has been my experience. And after that, you know, it's been about almost 14 years now. Now, I mean, I do talk with my ex. It's not a loving relationship by any means, but God has worked in my heart in such a way, and it's taken many, many years, because there was a lot of hate and bitterness in my heart, a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of hating myself, and you know, believing still that I'm not beautiful, that I'm lazy, that I can't do anything. But over the years, I have come to understand that I am enough. And not only that, like the song from King and Country, I am priceless, and so are you. So don't let anybody else tell you any different. So that's basically my message in this video right now. And this is the inspiration behind this embroidery piece. And some of you, who are struggling with this, it might take years of loneliness, years of financial hardship, because that's the other thing. Being a single parent, you're not just dealing with your emotions, whether it's emotions of unforgiveness, hate, whatever, whatnot. It's financial, because let's be real. A lot of the times you are not, you don't get child support. I mean, if he or she, is good at manipulation or hiding or lying or whatever, child services, they will try their best, perhaps. In some states they're great, in some states they're not. They'll try their best to get you child support for your children. But to be honest, for probably about 10 years, I got nothing. And it was very hard sometimes. Sometimes we had to worry about food. We had to worry about our cars that were constantly breaking down. We had to worry about, how am I going to get to work? If I miss work, if I'm sick, how am I going to pay the bills? Lots of times we got behind on bills, and it was just hard. And to be honest, it still is hard, even though recently he has started to actually send money for the children. But anyway, so that's basically my experience, and art has been extremely therapeutic. So this was probably around my third piece, and I learned a lot more. I learned how to do wording to make it look more beautiful, more even, with the fonts. And then, I don't remember the exact order that I did all of these. Well, actually, I got ambitious, and I wanted to do portraits of my kids in embroidery, so like painting with thread. So I did one of my oldest son, Joshua. This was when we had the opportunity for his 16th birthday. We went to Romania for the first time ever since he was born. So he got to see where I was born. And of course, in the process, we stopped in Italy because my sister was living there. And this is actually in Venice. So I got ambitious, and I tried to do a portrait of my son. Now, personally, I think I did a great job. But I've learned a lot in doing this. So I think if I were to do it again, it would be even better. But that's the thing about art. You get better with each piece that you do. And also I did one of my daughter and my youngest son, Nathaniel. This is Nathaniel, or Nate, the Great as we call him. And this one was, I learned to do a little bit better. This here, if you can see the border, I kind of came up with that on my own, but learned that this is something that people do a lot. So, and then this I learned by watching certain YouTube videos, I believe Millennia, Embroidery or whatnot. You learn a lot from other people. Again, the fabric that I used on this would have been for cross stitching, and I was just getting familiar with those things. So those are that. And then I did, with a cross, just a little bit of a, the cross and kind of like a butterfly type of effect, the sun, and perhaps, I guess, grass in the night, and just kind of represented how Jesus shines through the darkness. That's what this one represents to me. And that's the beauty of art. You can express so much through your art. And with each one, I got better and better. And now I have my own Etsy shop. I'll include that in the link below. And then there is, this one says forgiven. Now it does show backwards on this, on the video. I am learning, so bear with me. I'm learning on how to do videos and whatnot. But it says forgiven east to west. So based on the Bible verse that says that Jesus has cast our sins as far as the east is from the west. So again, faith is very much a part of my art. It is what has gotten me through absolutely everything. With miracles, with, just being held in the arms of Jesus. So this is what that one represents to me. My mistakes are as far as the east is from the west. And another one along those same lines, this one, and you can kind of see my love for French knots in this one. And you'll see that coming out in my next few pieces. But this one says the debt is paid in full. So anything you've gone through, anything you feel like you have made mistakes, if you believe in Jesus, you don't have to worry about that anymore, because basically he says what sin, what mistakes, clean slate. You can start over. And so that is what that represents to me, because, let's be real, I have made plenty of mistakes, even though, maybe I've gone through a lot of stuff. Some of them were of my own doing. Maybe not listening to that instinct that God put in me that says, hey, don't go this way, don't do this. And then you go and you do this, and then there's the consequences because I didn't listen. So, then I went ahead and did another one, and I'm really quite proud of this one. It's very, very detailed. Took me, now a lot of these, honestly, majority of these take about a month to make. So if you're not an embroidery artist, or an artist, and you're just happening across this video, just because you're curious about what it is, art takes time. Pretty much all art takes time, some more than others. This one, it says strength in adversity. So there's, you can kind of see, I was wanting to learn how to do satin stitches. I wanted to have a nice smooth look. Now, I'm my worst critic. So looking at this, I can find flaws that I would like to do better. But at the same time, this is one of my best pieces because I learned so much. You can see the French knots. You can see basically, the flower in here. Now leaves. I don't know if I got the hang of that. And then there's of course some, I used some golden thread that I found honestly at Walmart. I don't even remember what brand this is. Honestly, I don't remember what brand any of these threads are, but they worked. So that is what's important to me. And you can see, again, my love of French knots. You can do so much with them. You can basically, and it gives, the texture is really, I don't know, it's really, really nice. So that's that one, strength in adversity. So again, along the same lines, you are stronger than you think. And the reason you're stronger than you think is God gives you that strength. And yeah, so that's that. And then, like I said, I'm from Romania, so I wanted to show a little bit of my own national pride. Now, I'm proud to be American. I'm a United States citizen, but I am born in Romania, so I'm what some people would call a Romerican. But I did this for my country. And the Romania's flag colors is red, yellow, and blue, and that is the national flower. And I got a lot better at using threads. This is where I actually fell in love with a thread that's made in Romania. Actually, it's called Valdani. Not the red part, but the bluish, whitish part is done in Valdani thread. So I wanted to incorporate something made in Romania into the actual embroidery. I did use satin DMC. DMC is, okay, so my favorite threads to use is Valdani. I love the textures of it. The colors are wonderful, and DMC. Valdani is, in my opinion, very expensive, but well worth it. And DMC is also, can be sometimes pricey, but again, well worth it. If you're practicing something, yeah, go ahead, use the less expensive thread. It's fine. But that's that one. So that's Romania. And this is actually available in my Etsy shop, as well as some of my other pieces that I showed you. They're available in my Etsy shop. One of my other ones that I've done is this one. And again, I've learned so much along the way. You can see that this was actually silk. My first time I've tried working with silk, which it can be a little bit tricky because you have to keep your hands moisturized. Otherwise it can snag if you don't, if they're dry, or if your nails are not, I guess, filed perfectly. So this one just says welcome, and, included a lot of flowers in that. My leaves got better. And, overall, even my backs have started looking quite a bit better. I don't have like threads going from here to there to there to theirs. But this is something that you'll learn along the way. And there's so many YouTube videos out there that show you how to do things. Not just my videos, but I will be putting on more videos. Two more things. Well, about three more things I'm going to show you. This is, I've started to do things that you can do more than just hang up on a wall. So I did this little pencil pouch. So you can put either pencils or your makeup or coins in it. It has a lot of bullion knots or bullion stitches and French knots, and you can kind of see there. The textures. Again, this side here, this is Valdani thread right here on the borders. The rest is all DMC. And this is the other side. Again, I like to play around with everything. This is my own design. But now that being said, my own design, but learning from others, of course, on how to do certain stitches like bullion knots, French knots, pistol knots, feather stitches. And then, some of it is, my own mixture of stuff. The border is a mixture of, I forgot what the actual stitch is called, but I incorporated, of course, French knots into that because I love French knots. You can do so much with it. And so I am, in the future, I'll be doing a lot more things. Learned a lot. I feel confident that my artwork will look great as decoration pieces for your office, your living rooms, your kitchens, your entryways, whatever. So right now I'm actually working on what will be a decorative pillow. And this is Faith. Again, it's I need to be able to flip that. I've got to learn how to do that, but I will. So this is just the actual wording, but it will have a lot more. I'm very freehand, so I kind of add as I go. This might have flowers on it. This might have stars on it. I don't know. You will see once I post the finished work on that. And that, along those lines, I will be posting my Etsy shop, my Instagram, my TikTok, Facebook, all my platforms that you can follow me on. And on my platforms, sometimes I will give you progress reports like, hey, this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, just so you can see that art doesn't happen like that. It takes time. And with each stitch or if you're a painter or a singer, with each moment you get better and better and better. So just a few things if you're starting out embroidery. I'd like to show you is kind of what I like to use, my favorite type of tools that help me a lot. So number one, you will need some type of hoop, depending on the size that you have of what you want to do. This is a very tiny hoop. This is what I actually used for this. Basically what I did is I took this part in here and I put it inside the actual pouch or whatnot, and then I put this on top of that and tightened it so that the cloth doesn't bunch up. Again, I learned that the hard way because I did one of these pencil pouches and everything bunched up because I did not use one of these. So that is very important. And I'll be showing a lot more tips. This is just kind of a very overall look of what you'll need if you are wanting to start embroidery. Of course, you're going to need good pair of scissors to cut your cloth to whatever size you want to. This I ordered off of Amazon. It's Acetylene. It works great. Probably, I don't know if it's the best quality or not, but they work for me. And a little tiny scissor that I always have by my side to be able to, snip any threads or if I've messed up or something. What helps me, because number one, my eyesight is not the best. I also have a needle threader. This helps a lot for you to get the thread through the eye of your needles. So just quick, and I have a tutorial on this on TikTok as well, but you basically take this, you put it through there, through the eye of the needle, then you put your thread, and then you just pull the thread through. So that's, to me, that is a must. When I first started, that was my biggest frustration, is getting the thread through the needle. I did not understand how in the world do people use 6-stranded thread through the eye of any needle, really, much less an actual embroidery needle, which is a lot tinier. So an embroidery needle, you can see, is very, very fine. And the actual eye of the needle is very small. Very small. But it works great because, in my opinion, it doesn't leave a big hole in the cloth. Oh, and the cloth that I'm using for this one is Zeleneva. I found a cloth maker on Etsy, and I love, love, love her cloth. I'll put a link for her Etsy shop below as well. The other thing that is very important, so that you don't accidentally drop your needle and then step on a needle and hurt yourself, or God forbid your kids step on a needle and then you have an ER visit, a little pin cushion. I use that for my needles so that I can grab whatever size needle that I need whenever I need it. So I've got that. The other thing that's really important is like a bobbin. So if you are using a certain thread and you have leftover, you can put it on here, just wind it around. This I got from Walmart. You can put the number, like the DMC number, on there, because DMC always has a unique number to each color. So that way you don't forget what shade it is and mix it up with another shade when you should have used a certain shade. So there's that. And now I'm going to show you just a little bit of the threads that I love to work with. Most of the time, I work with DMC. DMC is very, 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 very nice, in my opinion. There's the pearl cotton on the top there, and then you've got the other, some of them are variegated. This is just the blues, basically, but I've got boxes for almost every color, because when I go to Walmart or Michael's or any other craft shop, I can't help but go and look at the thread. I love colors. So my most favorite, like I said, is Valdani. And this is my special Valdani box. I use it only on special projects. Like, for example, with this one, This is going to be a special project because this is the words is all Valdani, a Valdani thread. And the texture of it comes in different textures. So it comes either in like a 6-stranded, see, this is like a green, that I love, and it's soft. My opinion is nice and soft, but sturdy too. So it's not like it doesn't fray as easily. And then honestly, I really love these little balls. Now, if you're looking on Etsy or Amazon or the Valdani.com website, when you look at the pictures, I was actually expecting something much bigger than this. It's not. It feels it's small, but it's 3 strands, and they're so soft. Now, those 3 strands, of course, you can pull apart and just use 1 strand, 2 strands, 3 strands, depending on the thickness that you want. But I love Valdani thread. I can't say enough about that. And no, this video is not sponsored by Valdani at this point anyway. But anyway, so those are some of my favorites. I mean, you can see the colors. This is one I've used, so it's come a little bit undone. And that's where the bobbins come in handy. So if you see like your threads are coming undone, you just wrap it around the bobbin and then just stay organized and keep your threads together. But yeah, so that's basically what I have. I mean, I have stopped at other craft shops. I don't know what this is. I've not used it yet, but I'm saving this for a special occasion. This says it's Frida, made in Germany. It's very shiny. Probably next Christmas for my Christmas projects, I'll probably use some of this. And of course, you know, a really important part, some of you will agree, is have a nice cup of coffee or some tea. But that is it for today. I know this video went on longer than I was expecting, but I hope that, number one, you got encouraged, that both artistically speaking and both in your daily life as well. Because, you know, today might be horrible and you might wish that life would just stop. And you might want to end it all because everything's going wrong. You're behind on your debts. The love of your life is leaving, or your kids are rebelling, or, you know, lots of different things, you know, could be happening in your life where it feels like it's the end of the world. And it's okay for it to feel like it's the end of the world because it is what it is. It feels that way. But one thing that's very important is just know tomorrow will come again. It might be better, might not be better, but give it time and eventually it will get better. And I mean, I know those are simplistic words. Perhaps, you know, counseling might also help, but just know that you're not alone. There are so many people out there who are going through things that, even though they're going through things, they would be more than willing to encourage you in your hardship. So, anyway, before I forget, so I do this art, but it is not my main source of income. Okay, so it's a dream that one day it will be my main source of income. I am a cleaning lady, okay? So I clean vacation cabin rentals in North Carolina, in Ashe County, you know, wherever. So yeah, that includes toilets, sheets, washing floors, vacuuming, all of that. And you know what? I'm proud of it. There's no shame in that. And my night job is what I love, which is embroidering, sometimes writing. You know, I've dabbled in singing. Not the best singer. I used to think I was, but I'm not. Anyways, so that's life. You know, I mean, I think some of the most successful people out there, they have a dream, but they also have a plan on how to get to that dream. Number one, have your day job. Don't leave it. Don't leave it. And But do start with your dream. Don't give up on your dream. Work on it. If you're writing stories, write. If you're embroidering, embroider. If you're painting, paint. If you're singing, sing. Don't stop. If whatever your gift is, everybody has a certain gift. Now, I'm artistic. That's kind of my thing. But you know your thing. So just don't give up. And stay tuned for more videos. And they'll most likely be shorter than this. Have a good night or day or evening. Bye-bye.